You can go your own way, go your own way. Yes, sir, you can go the MGTOW way, the best route of all. Life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. You know that Fleetwood Mac song, You Can Go Your Own Way? Just go your own way? That has got to be the theme song for MGTOW. Um, Crazy, right? You know, all the way feminism and gynocentrism, society, overall, just everybody in general just wants to ignore what MGTOW is. And yet it has roots that go back a long time through centuries, really. Um, I mean, MGTOW in itself is just men going their own way. You don't bow to society, you break away from what women demand of you, what all of these other cult like followers want you to think and to have in your opinion for just to be something you're not, you know, and you're still trying to find yourself, or you have an idea of where you're going in life and you're just striving for a betterment in what you want for your life. And yeah, there's really any possibility of multiple doors that you can open up when you look at MGTOW, when you look at the philosophy of broadening yourself out of the matrix, when you see that the 25% of just the biology aspect only of your DNA telling your lizard brain to procreate, that you have no other option, that you must give up all avenues of all your hopes and dreams and your paths and your passions, and everything must be forgotten and dismantled and destroyed because in order to continue your line, you need a woman. Well, you can still have a woman in your life. You could still have a family. With MGTOW, all avenues of life are open to you. Whatever future you want to create for yourself, and that includes if you as a man want to have a family. Now, MGTOW, it is an awareness of the philosophy of what women do with men, of how feminism is destructive in society, the nature of women, the nature of the venomous hatred of men, and how you should be aware of just the overall destructive nature of how men are discarded. But at the same time, you can go any route you want to. You don't have to specifically say, you know, you can only go one route. You don't have to say, I'm never going to get married. You can have children with MGTOW. I mean, in the process in itself, you are aware, it is an awakening. It is crashing through the matrix that has destroyed so much and enslaved you since your birth. And you, as a boy, as a young man, as an adult, as a man in itself, you have every right and reason to fulfill all other avenues of things you want to do. And, you know, you're going to have attachments and you're going to meet people, you're going to mingle, you're going to form connections. A lot of MGTOW, they choose to, cut away from the connections of society to really go more of a hermit route. That's what goes on as they call MGTOW in Japan. They call more men hermits. Um, but it's not so much one overview of everything. MGTOW, as I have said before, as I will continue to say, is an individual phenomenon of growth on a personal scale, on a deep, insightful look at who you are, on where you find yourself currently, whatever struggles. You could be in the city, you could be in the suburbs, you could be out in the sticks somewhere, anywhere in the world that you are. With MGTOW, you can keep going forward. You don't have to stop for what everybody else tells you to do. It's you as a man going to fulfill your purpose, whatever purpose it is, whatever makes you happy. And it's important to know that anything around you that is holding you down, that is trying to knock you down, that is, whether there's trolls on the internet or whether there's other things in society or terrorism or all sorts of things that happen, that happen in life. There's always things that keep happening that are going to be disruptive and try to dismantle you and try to knock you off whatever course you're setting for yourself. But MGTOW is always there for you. It's more or less you being aware of all of your options to keep open, to keep the light on, to keep the fire burning, to keep the passion in your heart roaring, to know that you can move forward and that everything else trying to hold you back is all of the detractors within society, all of the flaws of other people, all of the negativity that wants to keep you enslaved on the plantation, which when you're MGTOW, you've broken free from your shackles, you've opened your mind, you're aware of things. You're kind of like Neo right after Neo in the Matrix, right? You just wake up from the pod that you were enslaved in, and you wake up after taking the red pill of what the knowledge is, and you're aware of things and you start to do more research. You understand that you could go back, but you decide not to. Like the lyrics in Fleetwood Mac say, loving you isn't the right thing to do. How can I ever change things that I feel? If I could, maybe I'd give you my world. How can I, when you won't take it from me? You can go your own way, go your own way. You can call it another lonely day. You can go your own way, go your own way. Tell me why. Everything turned around, packing up, shacking up is all you want to do. If I could, baby, I'd give you my world. Open up, everything's waiting for you. You can go your own way, go your own way. You can call it another lonely day. You can go your own way, go your own way. You can go your own way, go your own way. You can call it another lonely day, another lonely day. You can go your own way, go your own way. You can call it another lonely day. You can go your own way. You can call it another lonely day. You can go your own way. So basically, what the lyrics in the song is about is, as a man, if you're in a relationship with a girl, if you're trying to focus on building something more with a woman, that, a lot of things you do as a man is to try and build a relationship. You're trying to establish connections. You're trying to have an emotional attachment to something. And for a lot of people, trying to find that relationship, trying to build that bond, trying to expand on that connection, it falls apart in so many ways, in so many places for so many people. Um, and that society is telling you to keep going on with what they offer you, what women tell you is the best offer, which as I said, shacking up. It's they specifically want you to believe that the ultimate goal in your life is to procreate. But for so many centuries, so many generations, a vast majority of males, okay, in the human population never actually procreated. I mean, and you're going to say, well, how does that make sense if we're all here how we are now? Well, a lot of men, okay, well, they were weeded out. A vast majority of men were weeded out, where a lot of the women would form harems around the most dominant, most aggressive, most powerful men, and they would basically be like they would go to become like prostitutes for these sort of kings and sultans and rulers, and a lot of women would have multiple partners because a lot of people would die off, whether it's plagues or whether it's diseases or wars or what have you, right? Famine and all sorts of stuff. But in a general aspect, what MGTOW is it wants to let people know is that women have a super hypergamous nature, and hypergamy is to basically procreate as much as possible. Women have this desire, and they've had it for a long, long time. It's genetically built into them to not necessarily be with one individual. Okay, with a lot of women, it's to breed with many men, to have as many sexual encounters as possible. And you can see clearly how Hollywood, the media, all the left is so open about encouraging women and young girls to have as many sexual encounters as possible. And it's not that you can't have the physical intimacy with a girl, and it's not that there's ways of having safe sex and everything, um, but society in itself, how the left is, how feminism is, it's about an open, uh, a very aggressive nature to be very sexual, to be very sexually driven with more of the sexual liberation movement, but to instead of having a partner that you can try and build a future with, it's about just whoring yourself out for just to do it because it's there. And it's a very primal, very lower form of evolution, where by now in the century that we live in, it's 2017, um, that people would be more aware of the nature of things, and what relationships can be built. But what a lot of women have is they don't want that. A lot of women, they may claim it now that they're trying to fall back on traditionalism and the core values that what women back in the 50s used to have, or even in the World War II era used to have, is the man would be the breadwinner and the woman would stay home and take care of the kids. And with a lot of the younger generation now, right, the generation below the millennials, a lot of it is the most conservative generation since before the World War II generation. Okay, so it means that they have very conservative values, and these are the younger generation is going to be the trailblazers for what's going to come. And the pendulum has been so far swung to the left that now it's starting to swing back to the right, and it's actually going to go so far back to the right, but what feminism has done is it's actually destroyed so much in the world. And with MGTOW, a lot of people are like, you know what? With women, society, feminism, and all these things, I'm not even going to deal with it. And as a man, I have plenty of time to say, you know what? I could come back to this if I decide to. And when you look at women, all right, now a lot of women in society in this day and age are set on holding off till having children and being intimate with one person and potentially getting married and wanting to have a family. They're willing to focus on careers and other aspects of uh, you know, just focusing on other aspects than what the norm used to be. And it's basically causing a collapse within the birth rates around the West. Okay, Um, and it is having a profound effect. And yeah, it's really interesting when you look at it as MGTOW, because men, when you're MGTOW, you see that the divorce rate is heavily initiated by the woman, by most women. Over 75% of all divorces are initiated by the wife, and most divorces are because the woman is unhappy and feels that she just doesn't want to be married to you anymore. And yeah, so she's gonna take the house, take your cars, take over half of your savings. You're going to dip into your 401k, dip into your retirement savings, basically any sort of assets you have, half of all of your stuff, your furniture, whatever. Um, and most women have that nature to just to basically not only dismantle you as a man, to take you down and to take your kids away, um, but to basically destroy you and everything of value that you had or what you could have had with the connection of building a family. And most men see that and are right to be terrified of what it entails in marriage in today, and any sort of legal action that you can do as a man, any sort of protective clauses you can make, any sort of thing you can try to do to prepare yourself. There is nothing as a man you can do to protect yourself, okay? The laws are rigged against you. The society is set against you. Women are driven against you. Everything you do as a man is considered rape, okay? Any sort of intimacy with a woman, any sort of connection, she just has to basically go on social media without any proof, without any facts, without any logic, without anything of any burden of proof. She just basically goes out and says that you did something to her, and you are forever considered a rapist, even if you didn't do anything, if you're innocent, if you, but instead of going to the police to file an actual report, right, a crime report, she would wait, and then later on in the week or months later or even years later or decades later, she can come after you, and the police will go after you, and society will go after you, and the media will go after you, right? So as a man, you see all of these red flashing warning signals, and a lot of men are like, yeah, you know what? I don't see marriage as the benefit or the perk of what it used to be. And a lot of women are like, wait a minute, you don't want to get married? I thought there could be a potential for something here. No, honey, you really don't have anything else of offering to me, just sex only, when I thought there could be more. But with how you are and women are of the world of now, of the West in general, I don't see myself wanting to have anything to be too connected to it when you're going to destroy me in every way. Oh man, so this episode has been going on for quite a bit. I think we'll wrap it up here. Yeah, so comment down below. Share whatever you guys want to share. Spread the word. Be open. Be aware of things. Keep thinking on the MGTOW philosophy of what you, as a man, as an individual, what your drives are in life. Look bigger. To think bigger than just sex only. There's more to life than that one thing you can have. And as a man, you can have it. And the key is you can have it later in life if you want to.